So when I was a little kid, like 5 years old, my grandmother got me my first children's Bible. Now, I might have had one before that, but the one that I remember the most is this one that my grandmother got me. It had these really like, cool cartoons in it. All the pictures were like people smiling and happy, and I just like really like the colors. I learned the stories of the Bible that way in this picture book, basically. And what happened though was once I got too old for the stories of the picture Bible, I didn't really have a next place to go. I mean, like I had the Bible, but that was big and kind of boring. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to read, so I just kind of checked out. I I still knew those stories, Noah's Ark and Jonah and the whale and Jesus, but I wasn't learning. I wasn't growing. And so I got to high school. I didn't spend a lot of time in church, to be honest with you. I didn't spend a lot of time doing anything with God, actually. When I got to middle school, some friends invited me to check out this thing called FCA. And they invited me to come explore faith. I can't really explain what happened, but all I knew is like I wanted to know more about who God was like. And so I just figured I was supposed to read the Bible. That's what people do who are Christians, right? We pray, we read the Bible, go to church. I had no idea where to start. But I had a bunch of friends who went to church, and so I went to church with them, and a lot of them had this like blue and green kind of turquoise-ish. Now it's kind of ugly, but at the time it was so cool. Teen Study Bible. It was for teenagers. I was a teenager. It seemed perfect. And I opened it, and I had no clue. I still didn't know where to start or what I was supposed to be reading. I just opened it and read, and I was lost. I was bored. I didn't know what any of it was. But this Bible, I loved it for one reason. At the back of it, it's called a concordance, which is a fancy churchy word that just means like an index for the Bible. And I knew the Bible was important. I just didn't know like how to find any of the important stuff. And so I went to this index, and this really cool thing about this Bible was I could find out like if I wanted to know what the Bible said about jealousy, I could look up jealousy and there it was. If I want to know what the Bible said about anger or about temptation, about dating, I could go find it there. I could find the wisdom in the Bible. I could know where to look for it. And once I got more comfortable with it, what I found was that there wasn't any part of my life that the Bible didn't have stuff for me. There was no part of the Bible or my life, where the Bible didn't have some kind of comfort. I began to know where to look. And then after I knew where to look to find those things, then I could know, well, okay, these are the stories of Jesus, so I can read those to know what Jesus was like. And I read those over and over and over again. I don't use that Bible anymore, but I use this one, and I've read it so often. I've connected with its words so much that now, when I'm having a really hard day, I know that I can go to 1 Chronicles chapter 28 and find this verse that really helps me when I'm feeling overwhelmed. Or the story of David and Goliath. Yeah, it's an old story about a kid and a giant, but for me, that story is still true. I still face giants. I still face things that I don't know if I can do anything with, but I'm reminded that I have a God who's with me. Those stories became my stories because I had an index at the back of my Bible. I didn't have a Bible app where I could just search anger or temptation. I had to look at the back of a book. You know, it's kind of like this summer. We took our little girl Evie to the mountains. We went gold mining. She had a blast. And they would have her hold this little pan that she could barely hold and had a bunch of dirt in it, and we'd run it through the water and shake it. And at the end of it, there were little jewels. And spoiler alert, they were not worth thousands of dollars. They were probably worth 20 cents. But Evie thought they were the greatest thing she'd ever found, and she found them. But what she had to do was she had to sift out all of the dirt, all the sand to get to the treasure. Sometimes that's what it feels like going through the Bible. It feels like there's so much stuff in there, you don't even know where to start or how to find the stuff you're looking for, the stuff that God might be trying to tell you. I believe that all of this is worthwhile. I believe all of this can teach us about who God is and who we are and who God is for us. But I also think sometimes we need to know where to start. Sometimes we have to sift through all of the stuff, all of the pages to find what God has to tell us. But what I do know is that no matter what you're going through or where you're at in life, that the voice of God rings out in these pages. And there's always comfort and love to surround you. Sometimes we just have to know where to look for it.